Coming up in this week's video.
But no, we cannot get our mains electric to work. So this is not the first problem we've had with this van since we've had it. Like I said, I've seen it on the news, what's been going on down here, but you don't actually really appreciate how bad it is until you actually get it, or even I'm quite shocked at that. Right, so as expected, we got stuck in the mud. But the nice chap is towing us out, so that's a little bit of excitement for you, isn't it? Oh dear, I've never done this before.
Hi, we're Emma and Stu. This is my son Finley, and this is our van we call Miss Blue Sky. Over the last 7 years, our passion for exploring lost history has taken us to some incredible places. But we now set our sights on a new adventure as we travel around the UK in our van, creating memories together. So thanks for joining us and welcome to the channel.
And so here we are, we've brought you to Hemsby on the Norfolk coast, not too far away from home, because as you may have noticed, Stu is actually not with us, he's working this weekend. And this is the first time that me and Finley have gone solo, isn't it? In the van. If you follow us on Patreon, then you'll know that Stu's been giving me a few little lessons in the van the last few weeks, just to sort of get my confidence up. But we made it. Yeah. And so we are at Hemsby Touring Field Campsite, I think it's called. It's part of the Long Beach estate.
It is called that.
It is called that, yeah. We're not too sure.
Cool.
But I'll put the link in the description for it. And I think this is, in fact, the first weekend they are actually open for sort of tourists anyway. We're only here for 2 nights, but we've actually only paid £15 a night, which I thought was really, really reasonable, especially in this day and age, for a campsite with all the facilities, showers, toilets. I think there's a play park here. We're about 10 minutes walk from the beach. But we have also decided to pay £4.50 for the electric because it's going to get to about 2 degrees tomorrow night, and we don't want to be cold, do we?
No.
No. But we thought that's actually not too bad, again, at the moment, for sort of in this day and age. So Finley wants to say something. What do you want to say?
They were kindly filled up water for us.
Oh, he wants to tell you. Yeah, so when we arrived at reception, they were really friendly. And I did sort of say that I hadn't really been camping on my own before in the van, didn't I?
No, you haven't.
No. And he filled the water tank up for me. He showed me where the pitch was. He said, if you get stuck in the mud, don't worry. He can tow us out, which I think I might possibly need because we've had a lot of rain just lately.
Probably.
Anyway.
I
think before it gets dark, I'm going to get out and show you around very quickly, and we're going to plug in our electric and just get settled down. So we will see you
in a bit.
In a bit.
Yeah.
Right, and here we are. As you can see, it's actually quite a large field, but I do believe that an awful lot of the vans that you can see at the minute are in fact seasonal pictures, so I don't actually think there's as many people here as what there looks like. But we're just here, we don't really have anybody around us, which is quite nice. The toilet block is just there, and I'll take you for a little look at that in a bit. But we've just tried to plug our electric in, and for some reason it doesn't seem to be working. And we've not actually used electric for quite a few months now, so I'm not sure whether it's something I'm doing wrong or whether there's something wrong with the box. But the nice chap at reception said any problems and come and speak to him, so maybe he can have a look at it for us, which is a bit embarrassing, but I can't get hold of Stu to ask him. But yeah, I'm going to go up there and see if I can figure out what we're doing wrong, and then hopefully we might be able to get the kettle on and have a cup of tea. Right, so it's about an hour later now, and we've spent the last hour trying to get the electrics to work. I went and spoke to the nice chap at reception. He actually came over to see if he could help, even actually try to lend us a lead, just because we thought maybe it was the lead that was broken. Tried a different box, but no, we cannot get our mains electric to work. So I don't know if that's a problem that we've obviously got to try and get addressed when we get back. But I've got to tell Stu, obviously, because this is not the first problem we've had with this van since we've had it. So I don't think he's going to be overjoyed. But do you know what? is fine. We usually camp without electric, and we've got everything that we need. So we've got plenty of gas, and that's all that matters really. We've got some electric in our power station, not as much as I would have wanted it to be, because I didn't think that we were going to obviously be using it. But I've set up the telly. Finley's just having a little bit of a chill just for a little while, but he is not going to be on his tablet all night, I can assure you that. I'm going to pop over and get some fresh drinking water, because even though we filled up our water tank a little bit, we don't use it to drink out of. We always just get fresh drinking water. So I'm going to go and do that. And then I'm going to get some dinner on, and I will show you what we've got for dinner. So I'm about to start dinner, but just before that I thought I would get connected up to the Wi-Fi that they've got here, because the site actually does have free Wi-Fi, and even though we're quite far away from where I'm assuming the hub is, probably at the reception, it's not a bad signal. And I'm just using a hotspot to watch a little bit of, I think this programme's about the Lake District or something. It's on Now TV anyway. Somewhere we'll like to go in the future. I'd love to take the van up to the Lake District. I've never actually been. So if you've got any places that you can recommend in the Lake District, maybe drop us a comment. But anyway, dinner. Now, if you've watched us before, you won't be surprised at all to see that we are having some pizza tonight. Finley's had a school dinner, so it's only like a light dinner for him really. Barbecue chicken and bacon from Lidl's. I mean, do you know what? Stu introduced me to these about 6 months ago, and they are really, really good pizzas for £2.50. So anyway, just waiting for the oven to heat up. I'm still getting used to using the gas ovens, but I'm getting there. So normally I end up taking about half an hour to cook these. I'm hoping that I've got it on a better temperature today, and it might actually cook a little bit quicker. So I'll get it in there in a minute, and then we'll sit down, chill out, watch a bit of telly and eat our pizza. Right, so we spent the last couple of hours after having dinner just sort of relaxing, watching a little bit of telly, and yeah, we've not been too bad. It's not been too cold. I did put the gas heater on for a little while, but of course we were rather hoping to have the electric heater on. So we didn't want to use the gas heater too much. But Finley, he never feels the cold. He's been sitting there in his t-shirt, so I was sitting there with my blanket on. But we've decided, since it's just the two of us, and this great big bed down here is actually a super king size. Finley said, can he just sleep down here with his bed in with me? So that's what we're going to do. And probably help keep us a little bit warm as well. And it saves me making up his bed, because his bed is usually up here. I don't really fancy getting it out, to be honest.
And you leave it to professionals.
Yeah, leave it to the professional, leave it to Stu. He usually makes Finley's bed up. But yeah, we're now going to brush our teeth, and we might just finish watching the programme, watching a little bit of Robson Green's The Best Walks in the World or something like that. So that was quite interesting. But yeah, we shall see you in the morning bright and early, because we're hoping to go for a little bit of a walk. I think maybe up to Winterton in the morning, maybe even have a little look around Hemsby, but we will see you in the morning. So say good night, Finley.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
So, good morning. We actually had a really good night's sleep, nice and quiet, didn't hear anything. It was a little bit cold last night, but we sort of doubled up with blankets and we've got a sleeping bag and Finley's got his duvet, so we were absolutely fine. Other than getting up for the toilet during the night, which you all know what that's like when you're camping. But thankfully we don't have to go to the toilet box because we've got a toilet on board, which I'm still getting used to that luxury. It's actually quite nice. But no, it's quite a nice day today. I don't think there's any forecast for rain, so we are going to go hopefully for a little walk, I don't know, around the local area. I mean, Hemsby is a bit of a touristy resort, certainly in the summertime. I know there's things like amusements and cafes, things like that. We're probably not going to sort of focus too much on that because, to be honest with you, that's not really our scene. We're probably going to head up the coast to the little village of Winterton, which is quite lovely, somewhere we've been once or twice in the past. And we might just pop our head into Hemsby just to see if anything's open, but it's only the middle of March, so I don't really know. But we might be looking for maybe something to eat, maybe some chips or, I don't know, something. We'll have a little look. But we're going to get ourselves out of bed properly. I've already had a cup of tea and we're a little nibble to eat, but we're just having a lazy morning really, so we're in no rush, are we? We're in no rush to do anything really. But yeah, I'll get up and about and I think I'll give you a little look around the site before we go for a little walk. So see you in a minute.
Right, so we finally got ready and got out of the van and we're just having a little look around the site, sort of going the long way out towards the gate. Lots of activity going on this morning. I think they've had a lot of their seasonal sort of customers arrive and they're all setting up all their awnings and tents and doing a little bit of work around the site. So it's not been easy to film, to be honest. But it looks like it's really busy, but there's not actually that many people here at all. But the sun's sort of in and out a little bit. It's not very warm. They did say it was forecast to be a bit chilly this weekend. I think it's only going to be about 8 degrees maybe, but we've wrapped up quite well. So I think we'll be all right. And like I said, we're just going to have a little wander around and see what's around the area. So come on then, let's go. Right, so we only walked about 2 minutes from the campsite, which is just here, and we've actually come to Long Beach Park, which is the Long Beach estate, the sort of main part where all the facilities are, which we've been told, of course, we can use if we want to. I'll sort of turn you around and give you a little look. So this is where the main static caravan park is, and also I think there's a bar here. I think you can get food and all sorts, but of course we've been told, yeah, you can come here and use all these facilities, and I guess you can hire out these static caravans. I do believe you could hire them out on their website, but they look quite modern actually, quite nice modern caravans. It's sort of quite a big park, and we'll just have a little glimpse over here. And we've got play park, another play park down here that of course you can use, so that's quite nice. So reception and all that is down here. Let's go and have a little look. I think you've got the bar here. I think it's actually called the Dolphin Bar. I hear quite good things about it usually on the internet, so I think they have entertainment on, and yeah, there you go. There's the Dolphin Bar for you. And they do food at the weekends, only at the weekends at the minute. And you've got bingo. I think we were told actually there was karaoke on last night, which we chose not to join in with. But certainly something smells quite nice at the minute. So they're certainly doing some food right now. Breakfasts and all sorts there. So there you go. If you want to sort of come down here and use these facilities, they will get a bit of food or a drink or whatever, then you can. So in fact, actually, looks like they've got some glamping sort of caravans there, or tents. So I didn't know they did them, but here's the reception anyway. But of course, that's the reception for the caravan park, not the campsite. But we are going to carry on down here for not even another minute, because this is where the beach is. And that's where we're heading. So let's go. So wow, look at this. Great big sand dunes. And I know they've had quite a lot of problems with coastal erosion just further south here in Hemsby, but this part up towards Winterton is still quite dramatic. Like I said earlier, I've never actually been to this part of the beach at Hemsby and walked to Winterton, so we're going to get down these steps. I Finley's just having a little bit of a sit down before I drag him all the way out to Winterton, which I think is only about a mile or something. Probably not even that. And yeah, we'll have a little look and see what we can see. And if we're really lucky, we might even see some seals. I think it's still that time of the year where they do get them on the beach here. They certainly do up the coast there at Horsey. So if you're interested in things like that, then yeah, it's a great place to come. But let's get down there and take you for a little walk. And we're just coming into Winterton just now. You can see the sort of famous Winterton lighthouse just there. And I think just beyond it, you've got the Hermanas, which is, I think, like a hotel, restaurant sort of place. And they've got these quite fascinating little thatched huts. I think you can just about see one sitting on the end there that you can actually stay in. And about 20 years ago, I actually did spend the night in one of them, which was quite a novelty. But I think it's still open. I haven't really been to this part of Winterton for many, many years now. Not the south part anyway. But we're going to carry on walking until we get to the road that sort of takes you into the village. And I think we'll have a little look around the village. So like I was saying, there's actually quite a lot of facilities in Winterton. Just coming up to the post office, and it looked like this actually could be a cafe, maybe. I don't know if it's open today, with it being still quite, well, technically it's still winter actually. But there's a fish and chip shop there, and it looks like it might still be open. So if it is, I think we're going to grab ourselves a spot of lunch. What do you think, Finley?
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't going to say no to food. Right, so that's our chips done. Just about enough this time, so it didn't end up absolutely stuffed. But they weren't quite as good as the Collishaw ones. I think we're probably going to give them 7 out of 10. Or no, we do marks out of 100, don't we, Finley? He does marks out of 100.
No, we won't. We said
So 70 out of 100.
or 60 or 70 or
60 or 70, he doesn't know.
100.
But no, they were a little bit crunchy, but they're cooked in vegetable
I
oil,
love
so
crunchiness.
I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. But anyway, they did the job. But Finley wants to go and have a little look at the church, which is just sort of to the west of the village. It's quite a grand church, so we'll have a little look. And maybe we might even have a little look inside.
Is it open?
Yeah, let's have a look. Just got down to the beach. And you know what? I haven't been to this part of Winterton for probably 5 or 6 years. And I've got to admit, it's quite devastating to see what's happened along here. There used to be a cafe up there. The road used to certainly run a lot further. And what's behind me here, which is quite a large double row of anti-tank blocks, used to be just underneath the cliff. And now they are meters. I mean, we're talking about probably 30, 40 meters away. I can see why they're campaigning so hard to get some coastal defences along here. because this is just crumbling. But I mean, it's quite fascinating to see the anti-tank blocks. I mean, from my perspective, I quite like military history. But wow, this is so sad. But still really beautiful. Just hope, I hope that it's still here to see in sort of a couple of generations' time. And here we are at Hemsby Gap with the beautiful coast behind us. But sadly, if you're local to this area, then you wouldn't have been able to escape what's been going on around here. You'd have heard. And sadly, it's been pretty devastating. I mean, I haven't been here again for probably 5 or 6 years. And the last time I came here, there was a massive big beach, and you could easily walk onto the beach. There was an ice cream truck parked here. There was a car park just here, but well, I'll just show you now. Look, all gone. All gone. And the only thing that they've actually got to try and protect this, well, basically the land a little bit, is the old anti-tank blocks from World War II. That's all they've got, because they won't give them any sea defences. And look at this, it's just sand. I mean, that's not going to do anything, is it? Really sad. And so many people have actually lost their houses along here over the last, well, certainly over the last 10 years that I've been coming here. And I know a lot of people say, well, why would you build your house so close to the coast? But they didn't. When these people moved in, maybe 10 years ago, they were told, oh, you'll have 34 years, you'll be fine. And they thought, well, that's all right, I'm probably not going to be here in 34 years. 5 years later, they were gone. And there was houses all along here, and you've probably seen the pictures of the houses that just fell off the cliff. If I can find a picture, I'll pop it in. But yeah, that's really sad to see. And I do wonder what the future is for Hemsby, because it's a really popular resort for people who like sort of touristy places, but not too bad. You know, if you don't want the big bustling Yarmouth, you want something similar but on a smaller scale, Hemsby's lovely, really lovely for that. But anyway, the coast path has actually changed from the other side to this side. I guess that's what they've had to do. So we're going to carry on up here, have a little look around the town before we go back to the site.
Tomorrow feels like sunlight spilling through the blinds. I don't know if I'll reach it, maybe I won't mind. I keep returning, tracing steps I left behind, as if the past could teach me what I'd like to find.
So that was a little look at Hemsby Beach. And like I said, I've seen it on the news, what's been going on down here, but you don't actually really appreciate how bad it is until you actually get here. Even I'm quite shocked at that. But like I was just saying to Finley, yeah, a lot of sand will come back in the summertime and the beach will probably be quite big and sandy again. But the houses won't come back, unfortunately. And even as we were walking along there, they were still going up and down, weren't they? With their diggers probably demolishing some more before they fall off the cliff onto the beach. So yeah, it's really sad. But Hemsby, the resort part of Hemsby anyway, is really quite a bustling place in the summer. I mean, there's all sorts of things here. Amusements, cafes, gift shops, takeaways. It's quite popular We actually used to have some holiday chalets here that we used to rent out. And yeah, we used to have people who used to come year after year after year. They loved it here. Personally, I'm not really into sort of seaside resorts. I like a nice quiet beach, but each to their own. But yeah, we'll have a little walk through the centre, and there's a few things open. I'll sort of show you what's here on the way back to the campsite. Right, so I'm going to take you for a little look around the facility block because I know that's what you really want to look at. But unfortunately, there's music playing in there, and no right, but I doubt I will get a copyright strike if I give you an actual tour. So I'm going to show you around, probably put some music in, maybe some subtitles, and I think you'll get the gist of what they're like when we get in there. Right, so that was a very quick tour of the facility block. I hope you got the gist of what was in there. Quite clean, can't really complain, pretty good. Fairly modern and certainly pretty decent for £15 a night. But of course it wouldn't be one of our videos if I didn't show you the bins. We know you all take the mick a little bit about me showing you the bins, but it's important, it's important. Still got general waste, recycling, and what looks like glass. That's not too bad. That's all you need. And we were told actually that the Elson point was behind the block here. And oh, just stepping over this bottle of bleach. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Because we need to come to the Elson point before we leave, obviously. And there you go, chemical toilet, emptying point. So we'll have to carry, obviously, our cassette up here. Got a bit of a tap to give it a rinse. Yeah, do you know what? That'll do the job. Can't really complain at that. So, if I hadn't have asked where it was when we arrived, I probably wouldn't have known because it's a bit hidden out of the way. But what we got there, another tap. Yeah, there you go. But there is actually taps dotted all around the park. And I actually came up here to get some water, drinking water yesterday, when in fact there was a point literally just opposite our van, which I didn't see, but never mind. But let's have a little look at the playground, because I think it's actually, the park here is quite a new one, so we'll have a little look at that and then we'll go back to the van. And here it is, right in the middle of the park really, with a nice amount of green space all around it, so you can sort of play games and things, I suppose. It's quite decent, quite a substantial one. Probably, oh, I don't know, it's like an obstacle course, is it, Finley? Yeah, obstacle course for older children. And then you've got a little bit there for the younger ones. as well as these little bucket swings that Finley really loves. I'm not such a fan. But yeah, there you go. It's pretty decent for if you're bringing the children with you. Is it good, Finley? Yeah, he's happy until he falls off. Do you know, I've just spotted this before we go back. They've actually got barbecue areas that I think you can use. Let's just have a little look at these, shall we? Yeah, look, that's quite good. Communal barbecue area. And I think possibly in the summertime they do a food truck. So that's quite good. Obviously it's not open today, and there's picnic benches and table with oh wow, that's quite cool. Never seen one of them before. Yeah, it's actually quite decent facilities here for what they charge. But I think it's probably our dinner time now, and Finley's complaining that he's hungry already. So let's get back to the van, maybe make a cup of tea and see what we can find for tea. So we are all back now, and we've just been having a cup of tea and a bit of a relax, and I'm going to get a little bit of dinner on the go. And Finley said he didn't want too much for dinner, and we've always got stockpiles of things like soup, pop noodles, like easy dinners. So tonight we are just going to have some Heinz big soup and a bit of bread. So you know, that'll do. We've got plenty of snacks and things if we get hungry later on. But let's get this on the go. It's not coming out. Oh dear. So I promised Finley some board games tonight, and we actually picked up this £5 from a charity shop ages ago. We've not even opened it yet. But we thought we'd have a little look to see what we could play. And Finley was asking me what half the games were, and actually I don't even know. So what have we got? We've got chess. I never learned to play chess. Chinese checkers. No, never played that before. Probably managed dominoes. What's this one down here? 9 Men Morris. I've never even heard of that. Blackgammon. Your nan can play that, but she's not here. I can't. What is that one? Mikado? Again, I've never even heard of that. So I think we might be able to manage possibly the drafts and the snakes and ladders. So
And dominoes.
maybe dominoes, yeah.
Except the chess.
We'll have a go, and I think when we get home, maybe we should learn to play some of these games. 6. Ah, no, down the snake. Ah. No, that was just one. You're cheating. You're cheating. You've got to go back down all the way down to there. Can't cheat. See, this is a game that I do understand.
So, how do I?
Oh, put it down. Oh! Right, so we are all ready for bed again. We've had quite a fun evening, haven't we? Trying to play those games. I really need to do some homework as to how to play some of those games. It's been so many years since I played them, I can't even remember. But anyway, it was a bit of fun. But there, the bed's all made, and we're all ready for bed. So I'm going to take my hat off, because I'm not taking it off now because my hair is shocking. And get into bed. But we will see you in the morning bright and early, because we've got to get off this pitch by 11 o'clock, so that's not too bad. So we won't be staying in bed until 9:30 like we did this morning, will we, Finley?
We might.
We might. No, we won't. We won't.
We might.
All right then. Well, we will see you in the morning. Good night. So, good morning. We had another really good night's sleep, nice and quiet, didn't hear anything. I mean, this is actually quite a quiet site. Maybe it's because it's still quite early season and there's not actually that many people about, but it was cold last night, wasn't it? It was, I think it dropped to -1, which we were fine when we were in bed. We didn't really feel it, but I always have to get up about 3 o'clock for a quick wee. I definitely felt it then. But yeah, really good night's sleep. And to be honest with you, we really can't say anything negative about this site at all, can we? We've actually had a nice trip. There's plenty of nice walks today around the area if you like the countryside. But if you like more of the touristy side, again, that's not too far away. But if you don't, you can avoid it. So, you know, we were quite happy. The only problem obviously that we did have is our electric doesn't seem to work. Now we need to get home and find out whether or not that is a problem that's randomly occurred with our electric, because we didn't have a problem last time we used it, or whether it was actually the site's electric, which again we don't know until we get home and test that out. But I'll put a little update at the bottom here. No doubt by the time I've edited this we would have tested it. But yeah, I didn't do too much filming this morning because it's pretty much the same as we did yesterday. We just had a bit of breakfast, didn't we? Cup of tea, packed up. I didn't take in consideration that it takes a lot longer to pack up by yourself, which might seem a bit silly. I'm actually running a little bit late now, but never mind. But I'm going to go home and, well, today is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all you fantastic mothers out there. I'm going to go and see my mum, and hopefully I might see my children, because I've got 2 older children that are sort of grown up now. So hopefully they might pop in and see their old mum at some point, you never know. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting sort of close, so that'd be fantastic if you could help us with that, and it's completely free. As I mentioned yesterday, we do have our Exploring channel that you can subscribe to as well if you like local history, things like that. It'll all be in the link below. And we've got our Patreon as well. So again, it's all going to be in the link below. But here from the Long Beach Caravan Park, I'm not too sure the name. Do you know, we should have checked the name actually. Long Beach Estate camping site here on the coast in Hemsby. Thanks for watching as always, and we will see you next time for another adventure. Right, so bye for now. Bye. Bye-bye. Right, so as expected, we got stuck in the mud. But the nice chap is towing us out. There we go, we're out. Well, nice little bit of excitement for you, isn't it?